Good evening and welcome to the Gerry Leeds United show. I am joined by Ginny and we have just witnessed Leeds go into the top half of the table thanks to a 2-1 win over Sheffield United. It's always nice to win a Yorkshire derby, and officially Sheffield United cannot finish above Leeds this season. So the pride of Yorkshire is back again. What did you make of the game, Ginny? What was your thoughts on it?
I've not watched it, Gerry. You tell me. No, I thought it was okay. There was just bits of brilliance in patches, and at times it was a bit like of a end of season game. They've not really got a lot to play for. Bright start, got the quick free kick, didn't we, within 30 seconds, which was unfortunately a bit of a waste. Got the goal, brilliant goal. We were in control, and then just seemed to switch off, and we let them back in literally second minute of stoppage time. And you know yourself, you score a goal that late on in the first half, it gives you a bit of a lift for the second half. But overall, fully deserved it. What was it, 24 shots in total? I haven't seen the other stats, Gerry, but yeah, I think we could have made it a bit more comfortable than what the scoreline suggested. But fair play to Sheffield United, they gave it a go. Couple of half chances, but really, he didn't have to make one really serious save, did he, in the 95 minutes of the game?
I thought it was, as you say, the quick start and stuff. I kind of felt like both times whenever we took the lead, it was almost like we're not great front runners or something. It kind of felt a wee bit like we felt like, you know, it's like we're ahead now. We're expected to be ahead today, and it was just kind of like it was. I don't know. It just didn't look like we were kind of going full throttle, and except for the times whenever we were level, you know, it was like we got in front and then kind of took our foot off it a wee bit. Come out second half, got in front again and again. Like probably like most of our chances came from sort of counter attacks in the second half, where we were a wee bit poor, I thought, with like our final balls and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's kind of, as you say, it kind of did have a wee end of season fair kind of thing, but it puts us now 42 points, 10th in the league. And, you know, I always says at the start of the season, I thought 38 would be enough. And we're up into 42. So it's definitely time now to start looking and seeing how high we can finish, and then kind of start to look to next season and see, you know, who's definitely going to be there. So with regards to the game then, was there anybody you thought sort of stood out for us, or was there a particular star today?
I thought Llorente played. I'm really liking the look of Llorente, particularly on the ball. He looks very, very accomplished, doesn't he? I mean, right at the end, he was literally the most forward player on the pitch, wasn't he? And he didn't quite get his crossover. Thought Dallas was a good choice for man of the match from Ali McCoist. Thought he ran his heart out. Bearing in mind he's been away playing international football. Phillips was good and tidy as always. There were sort of like decent performances, but Llorente and Dallas stood out for me. Thought Robert showed a little bit of quality at times. Rafinha, obviously, with the goal. But then again, a few times he gave the ball away cheaply. Didn't quite get, when they equalised, I didn't quite understand why Ayling was so far behind the goal line. It didn't make sense. If you're going to try and stop it, be ahead of the goal line. You know, when you saw the replay, it was like, wow, that was way over. So I didn't quite get that. But yeah, Llorente and Dallas for me were the two players that really stood out. And the rest, Cooper, most of them did okay. And like I say, it was in patches at times, like you mentioned, when we got the ball straight out, and that final ball with Harrison again, he just frustrates you. He does brilliant touch for that cross, which led to the own goal. And then other times you're thinking, go on. And he, you know, in the end, that chance he missed just before half time was actually a really good save from Ramsdale. But yeah, it was just at times typical Leeds, brilliant football, and then at times giving the ball away and occasionally just switching off. But in the end, fully deserved 3 points. And yeah, I thought Dallas was superb.
Llorente, I have to touch on him. I've been very critical of him. There's been a few times where I've kind of looked at him and thought I don't really see it, but I think the last two games has been, he was good in the game was at Fulham before the break, and then I thought today he was by far the best I've seen him playing for Leeds. So yeah, hopefully that continues to be the pattern. Dallas, as you say, I don't know, like he's like he reminds me of. Do you remember whenever it was the 2002 World Cup and like the South Korea team, and they just all looked like they were just moving constantly, just 11 of them just everywhere, and that's just Dallas. He's just as that engine. It's unbelievable to think like just what he covers and stuff. You touched on Roberts. I thought the ball he played for Harrison was fantastic. Really, really good ball for that one. Harrison, yeah, he got a goal and an assist, and I would say he didn't play very well. It's weird because there was a few times he done bits, and you were like, "Geez, that looks brilliant," and then other times he's like so frustrating. He gives the ball away, and I thought him and Alioski down the left in the first half, they were very loose on the ball. Phillips, you mentioned slippers, like he could just walk about there and play in his slippers. He's unreal, like he's really, really good. I didn't see him playing for England, but I know he was getting like all the Leeds fans were backing him up, and it seemed he was getting a bit of stick from everyone else. So that I don't really know how he played as such, but I thought he was brilliant again. He's integral to what we do. Like he's fantastic. What did you make of Cooper coming straight back in after being out missing the last couple of games?
I kind of expected it. I think Bielsa seems, a big fan of Cooper, and I think it's interesting that was probably today our strongest squad that we've had all season, isn't it? Yeah, pretty much everybody was available, and it's an interest. Cooper gets his. I like Cooper. I think he does a steady enough job. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and at times gets some unfair criticism, in my opinion. But you've got to look at it and think you've got a £12 million player just coming back from injury. And I suppose the big question for all of us is, when Cox fully fit, will he go with the two internationals, or will he choose one out of the two and stick with Cooper? For me, I'd love to see Cox and Llorente. I know they're both right-footed. I always get myself mixed up. But you've got to put... The reality is they are two international players for two top international countries, Spain and Germany. And Llorente is showing what he's about. Yeah, I think he's probably got to improve a little bit on some of his defensive parts of his game. But let's be right, that's only his, fifth full game for us? Before his injury, I think we saw what Cox's about. I also think with Cox, Gerry, he's played it for Germany. He could be a player that could play in that role of Phillips if Phillips was suspended or injured. But I like Cooper. I think he should be here again next season. But for me, Llorente and Cox would be my chosen two to see how they play together. But I don't think he's done anything wrong, Cooper. I think, as I say, he gets a bit of unfair criticism at times. It's as if like the slightest thing, let's have a go at him. And he's not done bad at all. I think his biggest issue this year has been injuries, hasn't it? In and out of the team. So, yeah.
I think the thing with Cooper is there's kind of like an attitude sometimes, and it always seems to be the case, and it doesn't matter whether it's managers or players, but like the guy who came from Chesterfield, the Leeds, the captain Leeds, plays for Scotland. It's just not as sexy as the German and the Spanish guys, but it's to me, again, if you had said to me at the start of the season, like, who do you need to replace? Who needs to go? Liam Cooper, Tottenham list, he's a Premier League. No way can he play in the Premier League. Again, 100% wrong. He's been brilliant. In my opinion, he would be in, or like if you're talking about players of the season, for me, he would be in our sort of like top 5 at least. You know what I mean? He's up there. He's had a few moments, but to me, I think there's other players that have had worse moments. Do you know what I mean? And I think he's good. And I genuinely I look at our centre backs, and you said about you would probably prefer Cox and Llorente to be playing. Cooper's been brilliant, and do you know what? Struijk's been really good as well. So it's like you're sitting there looking at them, and the four of them, and And like you could genuinely make a case for all four of them guys getting a place in the team and starting any match. If you're going into a game, I wouldn't worry about any of them. Do you know the way sometimes there's like if Phillips is out, everybody's like, oh my god, who are we going to play? And everybody's worried about it. But genuinely, if one of the centre backs was missing or something happened, and you had to pick, I wouldn't have any concerns about putting any of the four of them in at the minute. And I think that's that's a very good place to be if we can get that kind of strength and depth across the rest of the squad. I think it bodes well for next season.
I definitely agree. Cooper's, he's made the odd mistake, but there's not one player in that team who hasn't had a sort of an error. It's human. Even the top clubs, you make mistakes. I think what's going to be interesting, we were talking about this, some friends of ours on a WhatsApp the other week. You got the likes of Cooper, Stuart Dallas is going to be very, very close to getting player of the season, in my opinion. He's not going to be far off. I know Bamford's up there. Rafinha will probably get a lot of the votes. But it'd be interesting to see if, I don't know, maybe one of the newly promoted clubs from the Championship or a Championship with a lot of ambition. Cooper's getting up to 30, Dallas is 30 odd. And it seems ironic, but we were talking about Stuart Dallas, how brilliant he is. It's no secret. Leeds are after a top left back. They're after a top midfielder. And suddenly you think, well, does Dallas become a squad player? And I just wondered, likes of him or Cooper, if somebody came in with reasonable money at that age of your career, do you want to become a squad player or do you want to carry on playing first team football for the next few years? And it'll be interesting to see what happens in the summer because, as I say, Dallas is outstanding. But I just feel with this, what Leeds are planning from what obviously Phil Hay reports, and he's obviously close to what goes off, midfield and left back are two areas of definite strength that Leeds want. And they're two areas that Stuart Dallas has been superb. And I still think Ayling would probably slightly just have the edge over him at right back. It'd be very close. So, yeah, we've got to remember, people like Liam Cooper, the captain. I think Bielsa would probably pick him ahead of either Coco or Llorente even next season if they're all fit, is my honest opinion. I don't see us getting another centre-half. I don't think that's on the agenda in terms of the transfers. Do you?
No, I definitely don't think so.
I mean, who do you think Bielsa would potentially turn? What do you think Bielsa's choice would be?
I think with regards, if like Cooper's maybe a wee bit more open, where you could look at it and say, right, you've got Struijk, you've got Cog, you've got Llorente, and then like the wee guy Cresswell is making sort of waves on the under edge, and there's a few other young players are doing well. So you probably could look and say, right, well, we've got three good ones, and we could afford to let Cooper go. I think Dallas. I think the amount of money that you would need to replace a player like Stuart Dallas, like if you're basically somebody's going to come in and offer money for Stuart Dallas, and maybe Stuart Dallas might not be in the first team, but the fact that he can play so many positions suggests to me he'll probably still get 25 to 30 games a season. You can put him in the midfield, you can put him at fullback, you can put him even further up in the wings. Like I think for Northern Ireland, I think he played on the right wing, like as in the right wing of a front three. So like I just think a player like Dallas, you would, if he was going to go to someone else, I just think that I don't think it would be wise to let somebody like him go. Just where even if he's not first choice, if you're putting your first 11 down on names. And I just think Stuart Dallas can cover too many positions, and I think he's worth too much to Leeds, even at the age that he's at. But no, I definitely think Dallas is. I think he's quality still, and I definitely think there should be time for him. But again, you don't know what's going to happen this summer. There could be. We know they're talking about 5 or 6 changes, but the sort of players that obviously it looks like Alioski's going to go. I don't know who will also go. Like Roberts was one that was linked with a move away, but like the last couple of weeks, I've kind of started to really, I've noticed the growth in his performances and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what happens from there. Are you have you lost me? No. Technical difficulties again.
Are you back, Gerry? You back?
Yeah. You hear me?
I can hear. Yeah, I could hear you. Just like you were frozen.
Oh goodness. No. So one other thing then I wanted to talk about was Bamford. What did you think of him today? Is he lacking a wee bit? Is he still carrying that wee knock? Is he?
Yeah, he had a quiet game by his standards, but I listened to the official Leeds United podcast, which he's on with Beckford and the actor from wherever, and he's very good at it. Actually, he's very witty. But he's been sort of saying during training, he's been feeling it and got the feeling he's probably not quite 100%, if I'm honest. But he didn't really get too many chances. I thought the one that came over when he possibly could have headed it and went to hit it and the keeper made a reasonably good save. Then he had the one where the defender made a really good tackle. But other than that, to be fair, he just didn't see a lot of the ball, did he? Didn't do too much wrong, but he wasn't as involved as Bamford can be.
I thought his general play wasn't too bad. He was okay in possession. He was okay on the ball, but he did look like he maybe was like just lacking a wee bit. And I know what you were saying about the official podcast. He did mention, I think he was saying about the murder ball session. He found it a bit harder than usual and stuff. And I know he was kind of carrying that knock before the internationals. And but again, he could have scored 2 goals. Do you know what I mean? So and another day, I do agree. I think he should have took the header. I think whenever he let the ball drop, it narrowed the angle. Whereas if he had took it in the header, it's harder for the goalkeeper then to get it. But no, I thought it was not his best performance. But again, I wouldn't be getting too worried. See Rodrigo. What do you make of him?
I think if he stays, he'll be a completely different player if he stays fit next season. You said it before, Gerry. You don't play for Spain as the number 9 unless you've got something about you. They're a top international team, aren't they? I just think he's been so unlucky. We started to see little glimpses, particularly the game at Villa. Then he got the COVID, and he's just been really unlucky with injuries, and it's just not quite happened for him. But he won't be the first player who goes into season 2 and comes back a lot better. I mean, Bamford struggled with injuries in his first season. He was in and out. He had a knee injury. Harrison was a much better player the second season. Phillips was even better the second. So I'm not too concerned. If he's happy, I think there's a player in there. And I do. If he gets fully fit, a pre-season under him, I think you'll see a completely different Rodrigo next season. So it's easy to criticise. I know people will say it's 29 million, but there's a player there. We've seen glimpses, and if he sticks it out, and I hope he does, I think we'll see a player that's worth his 25 million plus in season 2. What about yourself?
I think at the minute he's a hard player to watch. He looks to me like a guy who's really lacking in confidence. And so like sometimes he just needs like one of these wee sort of like half chances that he gets to just come off the boot in the right way and just launch into the net. And I think he would look a lot more, but he just genuinely looks to me like he's lacking in confidence. I've had a wee question I've kind of been thinking about for the last wee while, and it's you kind of look at the signings, right, that Leeds have made this summer, and we'll just kind of review them. And so you just yay or nay, right? So if somebody come in and offered what we paid for Robin Koch, would you accept it?
No.
Llorente?
Not at the moment, what I'm seeing of him, and I think he'll only get better and better.
What about Rafinha?
Oh, definitely. Because I know he's your top player.
Then what about Rodrigo? Would you take the 30 million back from him?
I think yes, only because of his age. To get that money back.
I have to be honest. Like, see, whenever he's saying, like, I remember him kind of like. I don't really remember him whenever he was at Bolton, and I remember him more like from watching like there'd be like a few times like I'd be quite a big La Liga fan and stuff, and I kind of wondered, kind of thought like he's decent, but like is he worth that money? And then I was actually genuinely surprised whenever I seen on the Leeds social media it was like, oh, happy 30th birthday Rodrigo, and I was kind of like, geez, he spent 30 million on that guy, and it was kind of like a wee bit. But I think he's the one where you would probably questioned. But I do agree with what you say about the second season. I think if you come in, you've seen it. Nearly all of our players that have come in this season have had injuries, and I think if you're a footballer and you're going around and you're living a professional life and you're obviously very fit, but then there's being football fit, there's being fit football fit, and then there's being Bielsa fit.
Yeah.
And I think the uptrend in the level of training that they're doing, I think sometimes probably does lead to injuries in that first wee while. So I genuinely hope that he does go out and prove it in the next season. But I just have this theory that he was signed as a replacement for Bamford, and then Bamford has really stepped up and took the Premier League by storm. And I just think that I just think that I just don't think he's suitable for the position that we play him. And I just don't know. I think I would, if somebody came in and offered the money back, I think I would take it for him. But others wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, you watch the league. From what I understand, he did play in different positions for Valencia. He could play on the wing. He's played obviously up front. So he's used to playing in different roles. And I think at the moment, Bielsa sees him as just playing behind Bamford. I mean, if you look at the early part of the season when he first started coming on as a sub, he seemed to make things happen, didn't he? I always remember the Man City game. He made a massive difference in that game. But at the moment, it's just not happening, as you say. When he comes on as a sub at the moment, he looks tired. It's just not happening. We've got to stick with him because I think there's a player there, and hopefully we'll see the real Rodrigo in maybe season 2.
So we've got our 3 points today. We're on 42 points. So I'm going to ask you this question, and it's going to be: how many times do you think I'm going to be reading Facebook, Twitter, whatever social medias over the next 3 games when we play Man City, we play Liverpool, and Manchester United? I don't know if it's necessarily in that order.
It is.
But how many times do you think I'm going to be reading that everybody's shite and Bielsa needs to be sacked over them 3 matches?
Will surprise a few people.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I mean, look, we could lose all those 3, but I tell you what, we're safe, and I think we can go into those games and give a good account of ourselves. We gave a great account of ourselves at Liverpool first game. Unfortunately, it was a striker's needless penalty. It could have been 3-3 that game. We matched City, which I would suggest if you had a poll at the moment, that Leeds City game was probably going to be up there as the best game so far in the Premier League this season, or one of them. United, okay, you're 2-0 down after 2 minutes. We won't say too much. It could have ended up 20-10. But Pep's already said it's not the game he wants. They've got Dortmund that Wednesday or the Tuesday after us. So he might rest a few of the key players. Liverpool, they're not in a great place. They're hit and miss. And United are due an away defeat in the league. So I'm going for 9 points, Gerry. I don't know about I'm always the optimist. Look, if we lose them all, but we play well, and I think we will give a good account of ourselves, we're safe. So we lose 3. It's not going to be the end of the world. We're talking about 3 quality teams. The champions of this year, Man City. United are going to get in the Champions League. And Liverpool, for how difficult it's been, you still wouldn't write them off being there or thereabouts for the Champions League. That's the level we've come to, and I think we just got to be realistic and sensible, and let's just go out and enjoy it. And hopefully we might pick up some points that people aren't expecting. I am, but most people won't be.
I think realistically, if you went into them 3 games, I think if we come out of them 3 games, my target would be just don't lose the 3 of them. You know what I mean? Just try not to lose 3 games in a row, because it's like what I was saying kind of was obviously it was in jest about like how many people's going to be saying this here and that, but football fans, and you know what it's like seeing like whenever you go on Twitter after a game, it's so reactionary, and like it's like like I know for a fact that if we go and play Man City and we play the way that we play and it doesn't go to plan and we end up taking a bit of a gubbing, and I know that there's going to be people on there that's going to be like, why can they not just, why do they have to stick with that, system? Why they knew this was going to happen? But like, stuck with the system, and we played them earlier in the season, and we were very good and getting a draw, and maybe should have won that game. But it's just the way fans are. Like it just makes me laugh. Just the way that there works. Them 3 games. I think the Liverpool game, I would nearly offer to play them that at Anfield. So I would say, look, can we go away? I've had enough to go to Anfield and play them. The Man United game, like it's just a pity that there's not going to be fans there, because that would be a raucous affair. Like, but we'll get them next season now that we know we're safe. But no, I just think fans are so talk was even like I do it myself sometimes. Like if you're just like you get just caught up in the moment, frustrated, and you say something stupid, and then some people will say, "Oh, I was wrong," but I'd be one of them that'll double down. You know, it's like, no, I'm not wrong. I'm right. You know, so but no, I just expect those 3 games is going to be a lot of daftness, you know, and social media, especially if we don't get a result in one of them. But like you say, there's opportunities there.
There is, and like I say, Gerry, we're talking 3 top teams, not just in this country, but in Europe, particularly Man City. We've got to be realistic, and those people that want to slag them off and put crap on Twitter, they don't know about football, in my opinion, because Man City, they're heads above everyone else at the moment. United, putting aside the rivalry, we know what they're capable of. They've got quality players. And even Liverpool, you know, that front 3, they're a top side. Yes, it hasn't got a plan. If you're a Liverpool fan, they'll be very disappointed how it's gone from winning the league last year. But like I say, you wouldn't still put it past them to be there or thereabouts in the Champions League. So we've got to be realistic. We're starting now. You know, we're here. They're way above us. And that's just a fact, whether we like it or not. And it was interesting, you make the comment about the Twitter, and you're right. But interestingly, there wasn't a lot of grief out there when we got beat 6-2 at United, was there? It was like, there was bits, but it wasn't as toxic as I thought it might have been towards some of the players, and even to Bielsa. It was kind of like, all right, we've got beat by the team we absolutely detest. But it wasn't anything like I thought it might have been, which I was pleased about, because at the end of the day, that game could have finished 20-10 easily.
Yeah. It was a strange game that day. Like, we're like, obviously your man McTominay scored like a couple of goals so early, and you're kind of chasing the game, and it was like just kind of felt like we just got blown away a bit. And then, but like we had plenty of chances, like, you know, and even the Spurs game was the same, and there's been loads of games like that, and it's just like one of the guys. I wasn't watching the game on the same. I wasn't watching it in McCoyston, I don't think, but it was one of the guys that was commentating in the channel I was watching the game on. He said something, and I thought it was brilliant about Bielsa and his tactics, and it was like Leeds don't have a plan B. It's all about perfecting plan A, and I thought that was brilliant. You know, I thought that was really, really good comment. It's like we have this identity. Am I away again? Can you hear me? But yeah, can you hear me, or can you still hear me? But
yeah.
But I thought it was a good comment, and I just thought that's very much what Leeds are doing at the minute. But no, I do think there's going to be, over those 3 games, like at the end of the day, we're going into them 3. I'm just going to have a wee quick look at the dates of them. Are they all like
the
weekend games?
No, you've got Man City 12:30 next Saturday. Liverpool's been moved to the Monday 8 o'clock, and United's 2 o'clock on the Sunday.
Okay. So yeah, so the as you mentioned, obviously the City game, like City are probably going to rest players because they have the Champions League game sandwich in that one. But even if City rest players, like I've been watching City this season, and sometimes you're looking at their bench and thinking, what sort of team are they? Like, I think it's a hard game. Obviously, it's a hard game, but as I say, don't lose them. Don't try not to lose all 3 of them. It's just like what you're aiming for. If we can even win one of them, brilliant. You know, it's like you kind of go into these games, and at the end of the day, expectation levels should be that we're not favourites to win these games, but we'll go in there and we'll give it a shot, and then we've got an opportunity for revenge against Ben White after that one, I think. So yeah, that game. But
it's exciting, isn't it? to have 3
It
games
is.
like that on the bounce, it's what we wanted to be in the Premier League for.
Yeah.
But, you know, we've done well against the teams in that bottom half.
Yeah.
Beat Leicester away, which I think is probably overall where they're probably going to finish. Our strongest result of the season, followed closely by Villa and Everton. Go again next year with a bit more class. You know, we're building, and I keep saying it, Gerry. I've said it to you and JK. You know, we can't expect to be coming into this league and finishing in the top 6. It's just not going to happen. And the fact where we are at the moment is just absolutely unbelievable. And we would have all taken 42 points with 7 games to go.
I'd have probably been off with 32 points at this time last season, like, and kind of thinking going into. So we're sitting with 8 goals, where we're literally just sitting looking at it and thinking we're safe. We've got these games left to play. Enjoy them. See what we need. It has been brilliant. The only thing, as you say, you know, is missing, and it wouldn't affect me so much. But, like, you know, getting the fans into the ground now, like, that's obviously the big thing. Yes. We should also probably just before we finish up anyway as well. I know obviously they had the wee tribute before the game for Peter Lorimer and the wee flag then for the lads from Istanbul that time. Chris and Kevin, it's their anniversary on Monday.
Yes, the lad went down today with some mates.
Yeah,
that big flag, the other one on Twitter.
Yes, seen it. Yeah,
he was down there with some of the lads today, paying a bit of respect. And apparently they have put it in the ground. They showed it just before kickoff, didn't they?
Yep, because I seen it. It was one of the, I can't even remember. I think it might have been Adam Pope. Like retweeted it as well, and I seen it on Twitter earlier. So yeah, it was there. So just obviously, you know, for them lads that got a win as well today, and you know, the game closest to their anniversary, and it's obviously, you know, something that people have been talking about a lot recently as well, and it's obviously a sad time there. Yeah, no, I just wanted to pay tribute to them as well.
No, absolutely. God bless them both. Yeah.
So well, overall today, a good win. It was, as I say, it was a strange game. I kind of was looking at it and I was thinking like who's the standout player, and you're kind of like you kind of have a few of them. There's like 5 or 6 reasons you could say he was the best player on the pitch, but then 1 or 2 wee reasons that just weren't perfect. It wasn't a perfect performance, but it was a win, and it was a win in a derby. And over the years, certainly in the championship years, I always find that we struggled sometimes in them derby matches, and with a few bad results in them. So it's great to get do the double against Sheffield United as well.
Absolutely,
which is nice. And imagine that, you know, that's do you know many Sheffield United fans around from where you're?
I know. Yeah, so they'll be. I think, to be fair, I was speaking to one a couple of weeks ago, and he's just said, you know, we've got to get ready and start building for next season. Do you think they've got what it takes to come back up, or do you think they could end up going the opposite way?
I honestly think Sheffield United, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to them or anything, but I think that if I was looking at Sheffield United on paper, I would say they're a mid-table championship team. And I think their manager, I think Chris Wilder was a bit special and a bit unique. I know it's not a popular opinion because of the rivalry and stuff, but I think that guy knows what he's at. I think he's a very, very good manager, and I think without him, even with him, obviously, you know, he's not been able to keep them up there. But I think they took the Premier League by storm last year and finished 9th. You know, like, it wasn't even just the fact that they went up and finished 9th. It was the way they were playing. They were doing something completely different. And I would kind of put them on a similar kind of, like, I kind of hope that Leeds are looking at them and being very like, right, well, what mistakes did they make? Do you know what I mean? And then that we don't make the same things, because we're both kind of similar. We play in a unique style. A club who probably on the face of things, the 11 players that they have on the pitch maybe aren't the best in the Premier League, but they play a style and a way that gets them together and has them maybe punching a wee bit above their weight. I think the difference with us is we've went out and spent that wee bit of money for a wee bit more quality, and like the likes of Rafinha. And I think that if we can continue to do that and improve the team, I think we'll be okay. But I do think that there's a warning to be had with what's happened with Sheffield United. But to answer your question, do I think they'll bounce straight back? I don't think so.
No, I mean, they've conceded, 52 goals, scored 17. That tells you the story, doesn't it? And I think Leeds will go out and bring in more quality. They spent 23 quid or whatever, 23 million, on Brewster. He's not scored a single goal for them. The keepers, got relegated with Bournemouth last season. Now he's going to get relegated with Sheffield United. And I think that's what it's down to. It's when you've got that big pot of money, it's bringing in the right players. Ollie McBurney has always caused us a few problems in the Championship. I don't think he's Premier League. And that's where I think Leeds will do better in the second season. I do think they'll bring in players that are of a higher quality than what we've got. And I think we will still do okay in season 2. But until we know who comes in, we don't know. If we didn't improve it, you would be a bit concerned. But we will. So I'm looking forward to season 2, and hopefully we can get back where we belong. Because it's been awful not watching this football live. It's just not great at all. But hey, it's affected everybody, so just got to get on with it.
Well, yeah, hopefully, the things are, vaccines and stuff, and hopefully then people can get in. And I know, are they still talking about being able to go to the last game of the season? Is that still happening?
They're talking about the last 2 games. In fact, they're talking about 1,000 away fans being allowed to travel as well. That's just been in discussion. So we'd have Southampton, and then we've got West Brom. But it'll all be down to the infection rates and all the rest of it. But that's the plan for the 2. As a fair advantage, every team will get the chance to have a home crowd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I seen that was the sort of the big thing they were wanting to make it so as it was like an even playing field. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there, and obviously, hopefully, the Leeds fans can get in and give they still haven't really celebrated winning the league last year. I know there was kind of that night and stuff, and there was a few fans there and stuff, but it's like it's like at the end of the day. They deserve all the plaudits they get. You know what I mean? They won that league in style last year. They took the Premier League by storm comfortably. 8 games left. We're sitting here and we don't not a worry in our head, and it's perfect. You know what I mean? So it would be nice for the fans to get the opportunity to show their appreciation for that.
Yeah, I think what they should do is they should get the Barnsley game on, which we win. And then full crowd, and then we watch the West Brom Huddersfield game, the highlights. They go 2-1 up, and then we all get on the pitch and we can all celebrate again.
Yeah, you're why not? I still remember that night, the night and the Friday night. It was the Huddersfield and West Brom, and I'd been in Ballymena, which is like kind of like 20 miles away from where my mum and dad lived. And we were like, right, we were going over to collect. We were collecting a cat. We were getting a cat that night off one of my aunts. So we were driving over, and I was listening to the game on the radio, and I realised that Huddersfield were winning, and all I wanted to do was get to my dad because he's like the reason I support Leeds and stuff. So I just wanted to be there with him whenever it happened. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was it's as long as it's not, memories are good, but it's a future that's what we want. As I say, like whenever you win something, you're champions for a day, and then everybody else is trying to catch up on you. So keep it going the right way. Keep the players, keep Phillips, keep Rafinha, bring a few more in, and push up that table. That's what we want to do. That's what it will be next year.
Keep Stuart Dallas.
Definitely keep Stuart Dallas. Even if you have to play Stuart Dallas in nets, keep Stuart Dallas.
Melier might have a bit of an argument about that one, but yeah, I think that's the only position he has to play for us in the net. Did you watch the Finding Jack Charlton the other night?
I didn't watch it the other night, but I had already seen it. I'd seen it on. I'd seen it a few months back. Like, yeah, it was very good. Like,
wow, it was unbelievable. I was just absolutely glued to it. I just wanted, it was one of those you wanted to go on and on. I just
It's like
wondered,
big Jack for obviously I don't ever remember like any connections with him at Leeds. You know, like he left Leeds way before I was born, but he see for like Ireland, like the big man's just like Ireland had never qualified for anything before Big Jack went and took us beat England in 1988, Italia 90 got to the quarterfinals. 1994 beat Italy in Giants Stadium. You know, it's just like he's just like genuinely just. I don't know if you've ever heard the story about him. They say that like nearly every bar in the south of Ireland has like a signed check by Jack Charlton behind the bar, where like Jack would have went in and like says, "I'll buy a round of drinks," and wrote a check. And he says that like if every check that he wrote in Ireland doing that was cashed, he would be bankrupt about 3 times over.
wow.
So he used to just everybody that got the check just put it up behind the bar, just framed it. You know, he's literally the man is an absolute legend in Ireland. Like and what is he 700 or something games? Like most appearances for Leeds as well. Like so, yeah. No, he's the bit in the documentary where obviously it's hard watching him, like because of what the dementia is doing, but the bit where like he recognizes Paul McGrath, just like it's like you're just absolutely blubbering. Like it's like, oh my god, like McGrath's another one who's just like for what he done for Ireland as well, and he's another legend here. Like, but no, those two, but no, fantastic documentary, brilliantly done. Like,
yeah, absolutely, yeah, it was good.
But yeah,
so 3 points, 42 points, and onwards and upwards, and we roll on to next Saturday lunchtime and
Man City.
Man City, but we'll be okay. We'll take a point.
Yeah, at the end of the day, keep them to 0, and I fancy us to get a wee goal. So
I think there'll be goals next Saturday, Gerry. Somehow,
I think there might be. But sure, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We're safe. That's all we need. That's all we need. That's what we wanted. But anyway, my thanks to you for coming on, and
thank you for having me again.
Good chat. Good result. So we're happy with that. But thank you, and no doubt we'll catch up again. Hopefully after another win. So it's all good. So thank you very much, and
that'll be lunchtime. So fingers crossed. Enjoy.
Yes.
Keep the faith. He's not convinced. I'm not convincing you yet, am I?
Do you know what? I don't even care. Do you know what? Literally, see if we get beat 5-0 next Saturday. It'll not even bother me one bit. But see, whenever I go on Facebook and I go on Twitter and I read the nonsense, that's whenever I start to bang my head. Like, do you know what I mean? Am I away again? But no. So anyway, I think I've maybe froze again, have I?
You're just getting excited, like you don't care. You don't care.
No, so I was literally just saying that it's whenever I start reading the nonsense online, if things don't go our way, it's the nonsense that will annoy me. But we've done more than enough this season to make me happy, so we'll worry about it then.
Well, yeah, I mean, just finally, I don't know if you saw that survey in The Athletic regarding different questions about your club, your manager.
Yeah.
And there was one about, are you happy with, how your club have played this season and where they are? And only 54% of Leeds fans said yes. I'm like, what?
I don't know. It's like you have to wonder like where they're finding them fans like.
Well, you wonder if the fans, because Bielsa to stay 98%, is the club run properly about 97%. In terms of entertainment, I think we were number 1, but 54%, only 54 said they were happy with how we've performed and where we are in the league. And I'm thinking, what were you expecting? Champions League football or the Premier League?
Do you know what? See, I suppose in some ways the way to look at it is, let's take the club to their level of expectations. We'll all be happy then.
Yeah, look, in a few years, Gerry, I get that. You want to be ambitious. We want to be developing all the time. But in first season, after 16 years, you'd have thought 100% would be absolutely delighted where we are in the league and how we've performed. So, yeah, I just didn't know if you'd seen that last
I
week.
I seen the headline, but I just was kind of like, I just kind of thought to myself like it just didn't make sense to me, if anything, you know. So it was just kind of like, nah, like it doesn't make sense. But are you happy?
I'm very happy. Absolutely.
I'm happy.
I've said to you every show we've done, I'm just over the moon, and 8 games to go. I couldn't, you couldn't have made it up, because like everybody, you kind of think this is Leeds, we'll make hard work of it. And what's even more enjoyable is we've done it a lot with the championship team.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as if we've had everyone playing regularly. Yeah. It's been fantastic. I can't wait for next season, when we've got 4 or 5 more top quality draw players, plus the team, some of the players we've got now. I'm getting giddy already, Gerry. I better go and get a beer and have my curry and have a nice Saturday night.
Well, there you go. So the official Gerry Joe Leeds United show official poll says that 100% of Leeds fans are happy with how this season's gone. So the Athletic can do whatever they want with that. Yeah. But like I say, yeah. So,
and I'm sure the group that we're in would probably all agree as well.
I can't imagine there would be anybody, and if there was anybody, I would imagine Debbie would have words with them anyway. So,
well, that's yes.
She wouldn't be long.
Debbie James, then JK. So yeah, if anyone's got the nerve to say they're not happy, speak to those guys.
Yeah. So
brilliant.
But anyway, as you said, beer, curry, enjoy your Saturday night. There's I think there's boxing on later, which I'll be watching anyway. Frampton's fighting, yeah. So he's fighting for a world title. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I was fortunate to watch him when he got beat by Warrington in Manchester 2 or 3 years ago. That was a cracking day and cracking night out.
I kind of, whenever that fight happened, I was like, kind of thought to myself, like, I always kind of watched Warrington, and I kind of thought, I'd seen him a lot, and his knockout percentage never really impressed me. And I kind of thought to myself, I think Frampton will beat him, but he absolutely destroyed Carl that night. Like, credit to the lad, he was fantastic. And I do like, I've followed a lot of Warrington's career from the first time I seen him coming out where they sang at the March on the Gala. I remember randomly just watching it one night, and I was like, who the hell is this guy? And then from then, I watched them. But yeah, no, he was fantastic that night. Carl Frampton, so he's going for, he would become the first ever Irish fighter to win a world title at 3 different weight classes if he wins. So good luck for him, and I'll get that on later on this evening. But as I say, my thanks to you. Enjoy your beer and enjoy your curry, and hopefully we'll be back next week enjoying a good result from the Etihad. So definitely. Thanks to everyone then that's watched, and we'll be back with a video. I'll probably be back on Thursday with to preview that one at some stage as well. But I haven't set anything up yet, but we'll put it on Twitter as well anyway. So thanks everyone, and thanks to Ginny, and thanks to Leeds for winning. So
thanks, Gerry.
Everyone, cheers. Thank you.
All the best. See you later.
See you later, man. Bye.
Bye.